You're listening to the 49 Carats podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats podcast. I'm your host, Steph. I was just on live like about an hour ago doing another interview, but now with me here today is Houston defensive lineman DeAnthony Jones. How you doing today, DeAnthony?
Doing good, man. Thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. I know you're from California. I just want to say, like, we love a California native out here. You're from SoCal, so I'm from the Bay, so we love that California connection. And you did spend some time playing at Long Beach City College, right?
Yes, sir. I did.
Okay. After playing JUCO, you had a few options, right? Like a few colleges that were interested in you, Boise State, Hawaii, to name a few. But you ultimately decided on Houston. What was it about Houston that you really gravitated to and you felt was the right fit for you?
So what a lot of people don't know about me is, coming out of junior college, I only really rushed, like pass rush on third down. That's when I played defensive line. My coach talked to me and told me that, I might have a future at, off the ball linebacker. This when I was like 250, 255. And, a lot of schools offered me as an off the ball will linebacker or Mike linebacker. And, I just knew deep down in my heart the thing I want to do, what I'm saying. I kind of went against, my head coach's wishes. And I told schools I want to play defensive end. All of the schools I talked to primarily just like, oh, you can rush every now and then, but we want you at Mike linebacker or will linebacker, and just wasn't the fit for me. You know what I'm saying? And Coach Brian Early, that's really a big part of why I went there. He had a lot of success with guys like me, 6'1", 6'2" pass rushers. You know what I'm saying? My body type, speedy guys who aren't the natural 6'5", stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And just looking at Coach Early's track record and just what I knew he could do with me, and help me get better, it was just the perfect fit for me.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to argue that it was the right fit because I think the resume, speaks for itself. Last season, you were first team All-American, PFF All-American. PFF had you as the nation's top graded pass rusher among edge defenders. You had 5 forced fumbles, which tied first nationally, 8 sacks. 5 of those came in consecutive games. So, like, you really did it all for this Houston defensive line. And it really feels like last season was kind of like an accumulation of what you had improved on from the previous season. And it just seems like every season you just get better. Was there one year in particular, either at Long Beach or Houston, where you felt you really came into your own as a player?
Yeah, quite literally this past season. You know what I'm saying? I was at the University of Houston for 3 years, obviously. First season only played in, 4 games, shut it down, had the COVID thing. Didn't do too well, had to learn the system, realized I couldn't do things my way. Came back the next season, got a little bit better. Everyone knew I was a good pass rusher, but didn't play the run as well, didn't run to the ball as much, didn't do everything I needed to do to become a 3-down defensive lineman or 3-down player. And coming into this last year, I lost the weight. I was overweight. That past season, I was 295 on the edge, which people don't know. I was 295 pounds on the edge. I don't think a lot of guys could do that. And then I played at 265, 270, and it was just so much better for me. On top of that, I can move like I used to a little bit more. And I put it all together. Everyone knows I'm a talented pass rusher, but I stepped up with the run too as well. I got my total tackles up, TFLs, led my team in TFLs. What I'm saying? I think I had 12 and a half. And just, brought my game to another level. Seeing guys like Derek Parrish on my team and Peyton Turner, Logan Hall, I want to be in that upper echelon, in University of Houston pass rush history, when they think like, University of Houston, who are the guys? I want to be one of those guys. So not only did I step up with my pass rush, I stepped up, with the run and, just my all-around game as well.
Yeah, you definitely did. You did mention like the impact that, COVID had on, preparing for, your season. How did that tell me a little bit more about how that impacted you, both in just like preparation, conditioning, and how you were able to kind of overcome that?
So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Coming into that COVID year, I used my red shirt at Long Beach City College. I was going through some things in life. What I'm saying, I won't go into too much detail, but just couldn't get right. Living situation, family situation, just wasn't the best. But so I burned my red shirt year, so I was only gonna have two. But obviously, COVID happened, and that was a free year for me. I learned. What I'm saying, I got with Coach Early. Defensive coordinator. Joe Coughlin at the time, and then Doug Belk was a good coach to me as well. It's just, I talked about the things like that I needed to do. What did I need to do to become the player I needed to be? It wasn't junior college anymore. You can't just sit there and run around people and do one thing. You got to elevate your game. And it was just a blessing because that would have been a wasted year for me. Playing in 4 games, only had 1 sack. I flashed exactly what my coach told me. He said, "You're flashing, but you're not, you're not getting home. You're not doing what I need you to do. You're not doing what I know you're capable of." And just it was just a blessing because I live and learn. What I'm saying? Just to get that little bit of experience under my belt, and then playing with Peyton Turner too, who was a first round pick.
Yeah.
Learned a lot of things from him too. And then Logan coming up, David Anini, Derek Parrish, them guys, just, I got up under their wing and just, I literally told him, I said, I'm going to lead this thing in sacks next year. I get my mind right. I'm gonna do what I need to do. And I'm going to get after it next season. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually my next question, actually, because there's been a number of Cougars former teammates of yours who have gone through this draft process already in recent years. You mentioned some of them, Logan Hall, Peyton Turner, are just a few of them. Have you been in touch with those guys at all throughout this process now? And if so, like, what has been their advice for you?
Um, I, I talk to them every now and then. My main guy would probably be David Anini. I don't think, not in a disrespectful way towards him. I don't think a lot of people know about him, but he's kind of a guy that I like modeled my game after too. Getting off the ball, being real bendy on the pass rush. Getting after balls instead of just getting the QB, and just he telling me just take it slow. Take your training. What I'm saying, serious. Just I was having a little bit of frustration. I was trying to get to a certain number. And I'm like, I know I can run it. And, he was like, DA, just pay attention to the coach. And this is different. It's not just being an athlete. You got to do the right technique and all of that. And it was just like, you know what, man, I get it. And, he just told me just enjoy the process because it's only going to happen once, what I'm saying? Just stay level headed and, just keep my head down, keep working. That's really what I've been doing.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was a fan of David Anini coming out last season, and glad to see like he's with the Falcons now. So, he's had some success. And there's a few other like teammates of yours who have declared for this draft, right, as well as yourself, who are like on the same boat as you in terms of draft prep and all that. What's been a typical training day for you as you prepare for your pro day?
So usually I wake up around 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. I'm kind of happy. Practice kind of starts not too early. We got to get there at 8:45, so I get there about 8:25. What I'm saying? Practice starts at 9. Go get a little treatment in, roll out, whatnot, and then just typical stuff depending on what day it is. 40 stars, 10-yard stars, 20 splits, things like that. Or we got a lifting day. And actually, I've been getting a lot of work in with the linebackers too. You know what I'm saying? We had a coverage day with the DB linebackers, so versatile. So I want to be able to show that. But we finish up around about 1 p.m. every day, and so we just I'd say probably 1:30 p.m. I'm done because I go get some more treatment after as well. So that's
Yeah,
pretty.
all right. You mentioned a couple of things there. I mean, working on linebackers and things like that. Is there anything in particular you're looking to test better at?
Um, Really, just to show that I can move, what I'm saying? Whether that's out in the open field, playing off the ball linebacker, dropping into coverage, and then just, being able to run in space. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people think, just because I'm kind of a heavier set DN, I can't move, but I feel like the tape really shows more than that. I'm a really explosive guy. I can run sideline to sideline, you know what I'm saying? Obviously not as bad or as the linebackers who are 220, but for my side, I think I move extremely well. So I just want to
Well,
get an excellent.
I definitely agree because like one thing that's like one of the first thing I noticed when I watch you. You have a very quick get off, and you make plays before I think even the player you tackled or sacked even knows what the hell happened. Like that's how quickly you get into the backfield and you make a play. And I found that to be very impressive. So is that something that you've worked to improve over time, or is that something you've always been pretty good at?
I'd say the get off thing, and I'm not trying to sound really cocky with this, but I've been doing the get off thing for a long time. I've watched guys like Elmis Dumerville, Von Miller, Khalil Mack. The first thing like you see with them, like if that ball, like if the ball is moving, they're gone. So
Yeah.
I adopted that into my game, and it's helped me really well. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. If I get off that rock and beat the tackle, I didn't won half the battle already. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
type here, dip here. I'm already at the quarterback. There's nothing like you could really do to stop me. And then on top of that, I'm going 100%. You know what I'm saying? 100 miles per hour. How fast can you get to me before I get to my spot? And even if you do get there, can you stop me? That's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, no, I love that mentality, and it definitely shows on tape. So you're doing the right thing. Did you play any other sports in college or even high school that you think gives you an advantage on the football field?
Not sports, but it's funny. All my teammates and my homeboys laugh at me when I tell them I actually played wide receiver.
Oh,
In
hey.
scored 10 touchdowns. You can look that up as well. I think a lot of my movement and being able to move very well comes from that. I play wide receiver, tight end. And then I feel like that helps me understand coverages as well. You know what I'm saying? It probably doesn't sound too impressive, but as a lineman dropping, I've dropped a lot over my past 3 years. I've only had one ball caught on me, literally, in 3 years. And I've dropped quite a bit. And I feel like that really helps me because I understand coverages. I understand where people want to sit, how they want to run their routes. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in this zone, they're gonna like hook up inside of me, inside or outside, depending on my leverage. I just feel like that really helps me. But no other sport. I played basketball when I was younger, but I stopped growing, so I was like, yeah, that's it for me.
No, oh, well, on the wide receiver thing, I do think like that definitely helps. Like, there's a lot of that definitely translates to other positions too. So I think that's definitely helped you out. Um, a couple of days ago, it might have been yesterday. There's a clip I saw on Twitter. I believe you retweeted it actually. It's a clip of you going up against former Tulsa, now Dallas Cowboys tackle Tyler Smith, and you got a strip sack against him. And you might know 49er fans hate the Cowboys, so I think they would really appreciate that clip. I'll retweet it after this video so everyone can see it. I mean, it was definitely impressive. Is it like gratifying at all to go against guys who have made it to the NFL and know that you've been able to beat them?
Absolutely, 100%. No flack or disrespect towards him, but sorry about that. That's my
Oh,
son.
you're good.
Oh, no flack or disrespect towards him. Just with me, how I think about it. How we could go in a film week. My coach brought it up. He was trying to like, he wasn't trying to sketch, but this guy is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? This guy is the best. Whoopie whoop whoop. And I'm myself, oh, okay, this is my ticket to the NFL. He's know what I'm saying? People like to shy away from the competition, but I love it. I want it. I want you to show me how you're a first round pick and why I should be one. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think about it at the end of the day. My coach actually said something to me, and it's kind of funny. He said, during the end of the season, he was like, DA, it's crazy. Whenever we played a top tier tackle, you brought your game to another level, even like you exceeded it even than you like normally do. And he was like, why don't you play like that all the time? I was like, you need to do that all the time. But going tier guys brings the best out of me. My best games are always against the top guys. Even though that kind of sounds weird, I should play great all the time, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, like playing against Tyler Smith and then I forgot the tackle from BYU. Um he played with Zach Wilson. I think he's dang, I forgot his name. But it's just whenever the top tier guys come out, man, and I get a chance to prove myself, it excites me. Because you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you're a top tier guy, you're elite talent, I'm gonna show the world why I'm a even better elite talent, and I'm gonna try and embarrass you.
No, I mean I love that mindset, and in the NFL you'd be playing the best of the best, right? So theoretically you'd be bringing an A game every single week, right? So I think that'd be great for you. Well, you did get a chance to play in the Hula Bowl, and congrats on that, by the way. And that was really like yours and many players' first time of getting a taste of NFL coaching, right? So what was that like for you? Was there any adjustment at all for you?
Minor details, you know what I'm saying? Like my coach is really good when it comes to like the finer details of playing D line. Everything they kind of did, we do in practice every day, so it really didn't surprise me. But you know, the one thing that kind of threw me a curveball, you know, was getting down in the stance. You know, I'm not a guy who's used to doing that. I only usually do it on one side with a tight end or something like that. And you know, I had to be down the whole time unless it was a third and long situation. And you know, just going against I formation, you know what I'm saying? I think people seem to forget that I'm 270 pounds. I'm not a little defensive end. I'm short wise, I'm little, but body weight, I'm actually a bigger defensive end.
Mhm.
And you know, I was just, you know, attacking. It was better for me to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather beat up on a tight end or beat up on a fullback all day long, you know, going against the I formation. That was just, you know, me showing them, hey, you know what I'm saying? I can get down in the stance and I will beat up on tight ends or get in. They even put me in the four and I was just knocking people back. You know, my leverage, you know, is really good for me being a shorter guy. You know what I'm saying? Knocking guys back in the four eye, even though I've never played that, you know. But you know, other than that, you know, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to play against some top tier talent again. Uh, really doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I've heard the stigma of the group of five and power five. Honestly, I've played some guys in group of five that played better than a lot of guys in the power five section. But like I said, no disrespect to them, but you know, it was just another chance for me to put my name out there against the top tier guys because you know that's really one of the knacks on me too is I play group of five, but I was like, man, let me get up here and beat up on some power five tackles.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that mindset. The 49ers do they've seen a guy like Hassan Reddick, beat up on a tight end as well. So they know how that goes. You did get a chance to meet with the 49ers while you were out there, right? So how did that meeting go for you?
It was really cool, you know. Didn't really go too depth into ball talk. Just you know, talking to me about my background, where I'm from. I forgot the guy's name, but I think he was actually from California as well. And just you know, talking about how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? My mentality on the field, things like that. Wasn't really nothing.
Awesome. Well, I could definitely see why they would be interested. They love having a deep defensive line rotation. They have one of the best defensive line coaches in the league, and Chris Kosaric. Is there any defensive scheme you think you're a best fit for? I mean, because we've kind of talked about it a little bit, right? Like just what you're used to playing, or like, is there a scheme you prefer to play in?
Um, Obviously, I would love to play in a similar situation like my school in a 4-2-5 defense. You know what I'm saying with that outside linebacker hybrid. But you know, I'm a guy. I'll play anywhere. You know what I'm saying. You know, I'm kind of a lineup and just go type guy. You know what I'm saying. You know, if you really watch my film throughout the games, there have been times where I line up on the edge, wide nine, five inside the tight end. It's like you go back to ECU. Well, people don't know I'm blitzing for middle linebacker, and then I'm sitting in coverage a couple plays later. In that game, I was playing primarily off the ball the whole game, and just you know whatever my coach want me to do, you know what I'm saying, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying. I'm just here to help any way I can help.
Yeah, okay. You kind of answered my next question too, because like I've seen you listed as defensive lineman on a lot of sites. Some people have you as edge. Some people have you as defensive end. On Twitter, you have yourself listed as outside linebacker. But it sounds like you'd be open to playing wherever a coach feels like you would best fit.
You know what I'm saying? These guys are in the NFL for a reason. They've been there for a while, you know what I'm saying? And if they want me to go play defensive end or play primarily outside linebacker, I'll do that. Whatever weight they need me to be at, I'll do it too. You know what I'm saying? I played at 295 on the edge, which I don't think a lot of people can do. I've been down to the 265. I've been down to 250. So you know what I'm saying? My weight can really fluctuate really well. So whatever they need me to do, I'll do it. I'm up to
Yeah.
learning. So.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like it. I love that about you. Is there any NFL player, current or past? I know you've mentioned a few of them already. that you kind of model your game after, or that you grew up inspired by?
Obviously, the top two guys, probably Von Miller and Khalil Mack. It's kind of like a best of both worlds, and that's what I feel like that's why I'm one of the better pass rushers in this league, in this draft as well. Because most guys are a speed rusher or a power rusher.
Hmm.
I'm the best. Both. You know what I'm saying? I can go run past any tackle with a get off, dip the edge, bend the corner, or I can go run through a tackle's face because I'm not no little defensive end. You know what I'm saying? And just but yeah, Khalil Mack, Von Miller, and then guys that I've been watching. Obviously, Hassan Reddick, he came from my league as well. My coach showed me some of his tape, during the season as well. And then, just for my body type, those guys are my height and stuff, but they're more on the slimmer side. I like guys like you know what I'm saying? Brandon Graham, Melvin Ingram, you know what I'm saying? I'm more so their body type, but I move like the Von Millers and, Hassan Reddick. So I could
Yeah.
do both.
Well, that's definitely, there's definitely an advantage to that, right? Because as you mentioned, you can convert the speed to power and whatnot. So, I got one last question for you before I get you out of here. What would a fan base be getting with D'Anthony Jones on the field and off the field?
A high energy game changer. You know what I'm saying? If you look at my career, in the last 2 years, even this year, I was tied for number one in the country in forced fumbles. And over the last 2 years, no one's had more forced fumbles than me in the country. My coach gave me, that little nickname, and I'm gonna stick with it. I'm a game changer. I can change the game at any moment. You go look at my film. I do it in the most clutchest times too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make plays throughout the game, but when they need us, when it's that third and long, minute left, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show up. That's when, that's the type of guy I am. High energy, very impactful guy, you know what I'm saying, and willing to do anything for my team.
Man, I want the 49ers to draft you. Officially, it's like, okay, decided, confirmed. But D'Anthony, best of luck like throughout this process. Good luck in your pro day. I'll definitely be tuning into that. And just, enjoy this process, and hopefully you end up in a great situation for yourself.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate you for having me on, man. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe. We'll have more prospect interviews coming up. So have a good rest of your Wednesday, people. Peace.